I was a student at UTA in Arlington, the University of Texas in Arlington. In the fall of 2001, I was going in to be a freshman at UTA. Obviously, we all know what happened in the fall of 2001, September 11th. I was a couple of weeks in to being a freshman there, and they shut campus down, went home, and just over the course of the next few weeks, between conversations I had with friends and family, honestly some dreams I had, and it kind of boiled down to when my grandkids ask me about 9/11, what am I going to say? That I went to college, or that I went to go fight after we got attacked.
On September the 11th, enemies of freedom committed an act of war against our country. Americans have known wars, but for the past 136 years, they have been wars on foreign soil, except for one Sunday in 1941.
My transition from the Army was a rocky one at best, I would say, going from being active duty to being a veteran. You go to a lot of briefings and you get a lot of paperwork, but in a sense of real support in making that transition to trying to be a active duty infantry sergeant to I don't want to say useful, but a productive member of society as a veteran. There's not a whole lot out there in the sense of real true support to help you. There wasn't when I got out, and just with friends of mine and starting this foundation and networking, it's becoming very evident, and just watching the news, it's becoming very evident that not much has changed.
Tonight we have one soldier's story, a master sergeant, one of the Army's best, a soldier who wanted to be in Iraq. He came home psychologically wounded, in need of treatment. Instead, he was forgotten, with tragic consequences. For a long time, it was too painful for his parents to talk about. But they contacted Bob Woodruff after seeing his reporting on wounded veterans returning home. And Bob tonight has the story of their son.
There are many unanswered questions surrounding the life and death of Master Sergeant James Coons. On June 29, 2003, he arrived at Walter Reed Medical Center for treatment of post-traumatic stress disorder, met briefly with a psychologist, and then it seems he was forgotten.
It was about 2010 when I got out and made my compensation claim to the VA, which is basically you file with the VA. Before I enlisted in the military, I didn't have these issues. Now I do. So you file a compensation claim to say, here's the problems I have that are connected to my service, and they give you a rating and say, okay, here's what we're going to award you, and here's what we will pay you for as far as those issues or whatever. So, and I did that in 2000. I got out in 2010. My compensation claim was approved in 2013. I was fortunate enough to have all my arms, legs, fingers, and toes. Not to say that I wasn't injured, because I was, but I didn't lose a limb. I wasn't, I was able to walk and gain employment without any huge hurdles. So I can only imagine guys that are missing arms, missing legs, or with PTSD that's so severe that they can't leave the house, waiting 2-3 years to get a compensation claim approved. I can't imagine what they go through. And that's one of the big reasons why I've started this.
A couple days before Christmas 2004, Ty Ziegel got hit by a suicide bomber. And this is Ty Ziegel today.
It's just all, yeah, it's all one big scar pretty much. The guy sitting right here next to me went into the fire, pulled me out of the fire, put me out on the ground, and I guess whatever fuel, or it was so hot, I kept reigniting on fire. So he put me out, and then put me out 1 or 2 or 3 times or whatever.
After rescheduling their wedding 3 times, Ty and Renee were finally married on October 7th, 2006, the day captured here in People magazine.
Yeah, see.
Ty and Renee, now newlyweds, spent their first months living off his military retirement, about $1,200 a month, and the money Renee made from her part-time bartending job. All along, they expected the VA to follow up with a higher monthly disability check.
I'm not expecting to live in the life of luxury. I'm not asking that from the VA, but I am asking them to make it comfortable for me to raise a family and not have to struggle.
Last April, a check from the U.S. Treasury appeared in the mail. No explanation attached. The Ziegels called the VA for answers. Several phone calls later, a letter arrived, detailing each injury with a rating from 0 to 100%.
When I started reading the first line, it was like, ooh, this isn't good. And every line, the disabilities decreased in percentage of disability.
From facial disfigurement rated at 80% to head trauma at a shocking 10%, and his left lobe brain injury, right eye blindness, and jaw fracture listed at 0%. That's right, 0%.
You want to help the men and women who serve our country in the military and fight for your freedoms. It's top of mind as tomorrow is Veterans Day.
And many Americans feel compelled to donate to veterans groups like the VFW. But KXAN investigator Brian Collister discovered veterans never receive most of that money.
Robert and Shannon, we've done something that's never been done before. We've uncovered records showing Texans have donated more than $130 million to veterans charities since 2001. But the leaders of those veterans groups chose to use professional fundraisers that kept the majority of it, 84% of the money you gave to help needy vets.
The things that I want my foundation to do is to ensure that our nation's combat veterans have around-the-clock access to mental health services. Educational and employment assistance as far as resumes, helping them find employment, helping them not only get into, but stay in school. And providing emergency funding to them and their families should there be some sort of loss of employment or during their transition immediately from active duty into becoming a veteran if they have some trouble finding employment. So those are the things I'd like to accomplish. 22 veterans a day are committing suicide, almost one every hour. And these veterans are reaching out and asking for help. And they're getting none. They're being turned away at the VA. I personally go to the VA, get treated like not very well. Like I'm not even a person sometimes when I go to the VA. And I've just read stories and been reached out to about guys that are really struggling mentally. And the VA and some of these other veteran service organizations that are supposedly out there to help these veterans are standing idly by as 22 a day are killing themselves.
I got involved with VVF to help serve those who have served us. I think that although I'm not a veteran, there are things that I can offer in order to help them at least provide any type of help or service that they may need and help Hudson provide that on a daily basis for these guys and girls. It's my motivation is to continue to just help and put myself out there and let everyone know if they need anything, come to us. They're not alone, and at any point, any time, we will be here. Our phones are always on, our emails are always available, and that we can help.
We're seeking funding because obviously I'm a startup nonprofit. And in order for me to accomplish some of the things I want to accomplish, around-the-clock services for around-the-clock mental health services, I need counselors and social workers who are willing to take these phone calls. Right now, I'm taking all the phone calls. I'm doing all the work at the foundation, but I need resources to be able to help these guys get jobs, help them find housing, provide financial assistance, to do all the things that I want to accomplish. I need resources to do that. And so I need the public's help to support me so that I can go out and accomplish my mission. The things they can do to help, they don't have to, if they can't donate financially, and even $1 helps, every single dollar helps. They can donate their time. They can be a social worker or a counselor and say, yes, I'll be willing to take calls in this area or in this state. They can come volunteer at events. They can help us set up events, benefit concerts, fundraising, dinners, things like that. Spread the word on social media. I mean, anything. Share our website with people. Just anything to get more eyes on what I'm trying to do so that I can actually do it.
Right.
Because I can't do this on my own. And it's on my website, and I really believe it, that together we all can accomplish this mission. And I've gotten a lot of support from other veterans that I've networked with through social media and various outlets. And it's a lot. There's so many people willing to help, but it's all veterans. And you know, we look out for each other, and we're helping take care of each other, but we need the general public's help too. You can find us on Instagram at Vet Voices Foundation. You can find us on Twitter at Vet Voices FNDN, which is the abbreviation for foundation, and our actual website is vetvoicesfoundation.org. So those are the places you can find us.